Beautiful. Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We are giving you guys a super panel on Ready to Love. I know you missed us. You see, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a break. You've been seeing us everywhere. Every time there's a week on, you see us there. And I thought, let's have a little bit of a break. And I see that you guys missed us. So many people were messaging me saying, when's the panel back on? I want to hear Cway. I want to hear Jay. I want to hear Shawn. Nobody said they wanted to hear me. They just said they wanted to hear you guys. So clearly they missed you guys. Okay. They're sick and tired of me. But no, honestly, guys, we're back and I appreciate you guys' support, love, and we want to put on a good show for you today. Look, I'm gonna have a real conversation. Don't watch my shirt being open at 4 buttons. I'm feeling myself a little bit. Okay, the gym is working. So we're gonna talk about the latest episode of Ready to Love. And listen, there's a lot of crazy things going on. You know the situation with Jessica, Janelle, Chris, Phil, Quinton, in fact, the whole cast. Okay, there's a lot of madness going on. We're going to discuss it tonight. I know you've been waiting to see what the panelists' thoughts are, and we're going to get into it. But before we do, make sure you do me a massive favor: like it, share, subscribe. Yes, we're trying to get to 100K before the end of the year, and we know that you guys can help us get there. You've already put in quite a shift in terms of subs, so thank you so much for supporting the gang and the team as well. All right. Without much further ado, let's get into some conversation. I don't want to be on here for 4 hours, so let's get straight into it. Let's start strong. Yeah, because while we've got the energy, let's start strong. The main topic of the day is Jessica's situation. Is she combative or is she not combative? I want to hear your thoughts. Is Jessica this person who, some people are describing as and some people are defending, so immediate thoughts. Jessica, is she combative? Is she combative, or was that just Chris doing too much? Yes, Jay, talk to me. Is Jessica combative? You touched the screen, my bad. You should have moved.
Well, two things can be right at the same time. Chris was doing too much, but despite what definition she wanted to find, she's combative. Her energy ran around the place to try to figure out what she already knew. You challenge every man there for a person that you already knew. What more can I say? That's a bit combative. Like, seriously. So.
Thank you very much, Jay. Let's go to opposing thoughts. Cway, combative, not combative.
I love how you knew I didn't agree with that whatsoever. No, I don't think she's combative, and I think that word is offensive. I agree with her. I think it's offensive. And before y'all start tonight, I'm not going to be going back and forth with y'all while y'all try to do 3-on-1. Okay, this is not Pornhub. Y'all will not gangbang me. So just let's start that right now, because I already see y'all face. But literally, I don't think that she is combative. I think she is assertive. And I think when you're assertive as a woman, you get labeled combative. I personally haven't seen anything from her that has screamed combative, argumentative, outside of their little one-on-one with the improv. I think if she was ever combative-ish, it was during the improv moment. But outside of that, I mean, I just think she's assertive and she has an opinion, and she's a little dry and she doesn't give you that like bubbly fluff that, maybe some people may want. But I would love to hear from you guys what about her, or what scene that you can point to outside of the improv that makes her combative by the definition. Now, we go to what she's doing as far as trying to clear her name. I think that's just clearing her name. If you're a professional woman, right? And mind you, you're already setting yourself up for failure being on Ready to Love as a professional woman, right? But I'm going to leave that alone. You're a professional woman and you're on Ready to Love, and these fools then got up to the elimination lounge and called you combative. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to actually tell me, when have I been combative, because to me that is very offensive to a Black woman, and it does stick to women in general regardless of your race. So I think people are mixing up the fact that maybe they don't like her, maybe she's not fluffy enough for them, maybe she's not interesting, maybe she's cold. You know what I mean? I think people need to give the proper adjective, but combative, no. Janelle is combative. And maybe she'll learn from this not to kick it with her. But yeah, I would just love the people in the comments and on the panel to actually explain when she was combative instead of repeating she's combative, because that actually doesn't explain. Usually when that's all people can do is just repeat themselves, they actually don't have anything to back their statement up with. But I digress.
Thanks, Cway. Shawn?
Okay, so a person who is combative is aggressive and eager to fight or argue. They are aggressive, militant, contentious, belligerent, pugnacious, always looking to argue. Combative. Janelle was combative. What's her name? Jessica, sorry. She was combative about being called combative. So a non-combative person, when they're called something they disagree with, do not engage in combat. She was combative. I'm sorry. There's all different degrees and extents to which someone can be combative. And I don't think she is aggressively combative, or maybe she's not physically combative, or maybe she's not vulgar and she doesn't run around cussing people out, but she is combative. She engaged in an entire combat to figure out who called her combative when she claimed she knew who called her combative. Then she said, I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, as she went about executing him and getting him off the show. And we know, and listen, I'm going to say this first because I just want to make sure everybody hears me. Anybody who is part of the, Protect Black Women crew, I stand with you. And I do not agree with Chris's behavior. I don't care what she said. I don't care what she accused him of. I think his behavior was wrong. I think the words he used were completely wrong, very disrespectful, to a woman. I couldn't even imagine speaking that way to a woman. It just felt like hate, and it came from a place of ill will. So I'm gonna start there, right? So, however, and I think that the way she went about going after him was the way somebody engages in combat. And we all know in war, there's multiple ways to fight. And she did not like that he called her that. And she went about it unilaterally to get him kicked off, to embarrass him, and to cause him the same level of hurt or whatever she felt by the comment. She wanted him to feel the same way. And that's somebody that's combative. You do something to me, I'm going to in turn do something to you.
By the definition that she gave the first part that Shawn gave. She stopped at the aggressive and, ready to attack, but she didn't go down to the militant part. Sis is hella militant. Everything that she did from that point of hearing combative went into full military mode. First, she separated, seeked, and destroyed to get to Chris. knowing damn well she already knew who it was. She let Janelle put that battery in her back and boost her ego up or whatnot. She shot down Morier in the process. Granted, she probably wanted to anyway, but she used that to shut down Morier. And then sat there and told all the guys like, "Oh no, this is a thing on Black women and all this stuff. When it fits, it fits. I'm sorry. Yes, Black women do have a stigma and all these stuff like that, and maybe we should stay away from doing things that put that stigma on us that we don't have to fight so hard to get it off. But when you're displaying the energy on several occasions." And yes, I agree with you. She's very assertive. The way she dragged him around at that hoedown was hella assertive. But she also gives me, when I don't get my way, we're going to go toe to toe. There was few other words she highlighted that was said, that Morier said, that the guys agreed on or whatever. She chose combative out of all the words so she can go after one person who is no longer her connection. However they decided to break up, she wanted to attack the one person. And on several occasions, different people said, this is a catharsis of the men. Q has said it. Morier said it in the not in deliberation, but in the speech he gave. He said, a few of the men feel this way. And this might not be just the men that are left on there. It could have been from past stuff that they said in the deliberations before. Out of everything, she picked one word and stuck with that one word and shot down everybody in her wake. You want to tell me that's not being combative?
I'm talking about prior to that situation. I call that defending and challenging an incorrect belief. Did she ether Morier and Chris meticulously in a very, very particular way? Just ethered both of them. Yes, she did. And if you guys want to hang your hat on that being combative, like engaging in combat, I will call that defending myself. I will call that challenging something on national television that I don't believe agrees with my character. So if defending my name, however I want to defend my name on national television makes me combative, then sure. But I'm talking about prior to that point. I don't find anything that she's done to be combative.
I don't know what experience that her and Chris had, but Chris said we had a situation, a combative situation, meaning that the two of them were engaged in something. He didn't call her combative in that thing. Morier took that word and called her that. He said in that now in his confessional, that's a whole different thing. Okay, because he said she was combative in the confessional. But in that men's lounge, he specifically said we had a combative situation. So whatever the experience was that he got from it, that's his experience. I can't speak on it. The cameras didn't show it because we don't know what they be doing off camera and all that stuff like that. But these people be doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff that's edited in that final scene between the two of them that was said. So if you want to just go off of everything or whatever and stuff like that, that's fine. But her energy alone, yes, it gives assertive, but it also gives combative when needed.
Yeah, I think we're just going to agree to disagree. And honestly, most of these people in the comments are the same people who, if Jay and I'm use you because you're included in this at this point, Jay. If Jay gets into a disagreement with Shawn, if I get into a disagreement with Shawn, women, not even men, because women are our own worst enemy, would call Jay and I combative and won't say anything about Shawn. So I always, I always feel a little funny. It's going to take me a lot to call another woman combative because I see the way people engage with us on this own platform. Literally, and this is no shot at Shawn, but Shawn literally could say anything he wants. Nothing about him being combative. But then Jay and I can respond to him. Or forget Shawn, it could be JR. All of a sudden, y'all go in the comments, self-hating, hating your own self. Just Ooh, Jay cut Shawn off. Jay cut him. Ooh, Christian don't never. So no, and unless you really do something, it's like as soon and I understand what you guys are seeing. I'm not saying I don't see what you're seeing, and Jessica, I'm not saying she ain't pushing the ends of it. I'm not saying she's not pushing the ends of it. All I'm saying is that what I've seen on television has not to me justified the overarching conclusion that she's combative. If Chris would have got his whispering behind up there and said she has been combative with me, I wouldn't really tussle with that because she probably has been tussling with him. He looks like he brings that kind of energy out of women.
But Cway, that's what he said. He doesn't have to use your exact words, but he said that in so many words, I've experienced her as being combative.
He actually lied. He actually lied and said he didn't say that. He said that afterwards.
Hello, hold on.
In the men's lounge, that's what he said.
In the beginning of the beginning, we're not going to deal with the fact we know that he misrepresented the truth or lied, whatever, So I understand that. But his initial thought, and this is why, everybody was like acting like they had been on a funeral, because nobody wants the wrath of the upsetting Black women. Oh my God, you called her combative. At the end of the day, it's a word. I think we just need to stop being so super overly sensitive, or you can't say this word and you can't say that word. Look, Cway, you are a great attorney, and part of your job is being combative. You get paid to combat. You get paid to argue. You get paid to go back and forth with people about facts. And it's okay. And if somebody can't take it, that's because they can't take it and they need to move on. And is Jessica combative to some people? Yeah, she is. She is. And somebody can deal with her. There are going to be some men that can handle her, and there are going to be some men that can't. But it's like, why do you, and she's also talking out of both sides of her neck, because if at the end of the day, she really was like, if you get to experience me as combative, then that's your experience and it should be okay. And she sat there and said that with Janelle, and then went on this whole campaign to prove that she's not combative. It's like, if it doesn't matter to you, then let it go. Like we always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. Nobody is watching this and is like, oh my God, we're going to ruin opportunities for Janelle because Jessica, because she's being called combative. That's what's his experience of her in a dating interaction. It could be right. It could be wrong. It's his perception. But at the end of the day, what is more problematic to me is that she can't take the feedback, because how many times when somebody tells us something about ourselves that is not favorable, do we say, you know what, I agree with you? The first time somebody told me, Shawn, you're a little pushy. Shawn, you're a little, you could come off a little pig-headed sometimes. You could be a little stubborn. Then I say, you know what? By golly gee whiz, you're right. I agree with you. No, I fought them, because that's what I do. I'm a debater. And I debate to a fault at times. So you're not always going to love every piece of feedback that you get about yourself. And the whole idea of coming on a show like this is being open to sometimes hearing the things that you don't want to hear. Perhaps if she had stepped back and said, what can I learn from this? Or what did you see? Show me, tell me, give me some examples, right? Then she might have got some, or she might have said, you know what, I can think about that, but I disagree. But now you want to ether him. That is somebody, you just don't appear combative. It just didn't come out of anywhere because she felt attacked. It's because that's her character. So this is your default behavior on how you handle a situation when you don't like it. You engage in combat, you argue, you're going to fight because you don't like what's said to you.
I personally think we're all pretty much combative here. Maybe, we all have a little bit of combativeness on this channel. The warfare tends to ensue. Listen, I can understand why some people not necessarily might not see it Jessica's way, that she might not be combative, because there's certain nuances to the situation. I just think that the way she went about it should prove that she is combative, right? And I think Shawn made the most eloquent point. If you tell me that that you get to experience me how you experience me, but then you go after me, and she went after him, but in a way that she wanted to rope everybody else into the situation. That's the combativeness that we're talking about. You wanted to have a fight. You wasn't trying to look for understanding there. You wasn't trying to get any understanding. you know. So that's what I think. That's why I think it's a bit more harder to see Jessica as being combative. The reality of the situation, I'm combative. You know what I mean? And I'm combative, and I want to just clear this up. Cway, I love your point, but it's not true. On this channel, your point will not hold any weight because me and Shawn get hit with this every single time. Whenever we decide to argue, we've been in trouble. We've been in trouble on the channel before for arguing. We've been in trouble on the channel several times. In fact, we've had to even change the way we argue because you can't argue with women the same way you argue with men. It doesn't look right. It doesn't come off the same way, right? So we've been called out several times on this situation. In fact, me and Shawn talk about this all the time. We talk about how we did Married at First Sight. I was ready. I was in debate mode. I was hot. I was ready. I like to go on it. We're gonna go at it. But we got called out for it about the way we're doing too much. The way you're talking about, you're doing too much. You're going over the edge. You're raising your voice, right? And all of a sudden, as soon as you do disagree and make certain points, we get labeled other things. Before you know it, you're Kevin Samuels. So there's no way you're gonna tell us that on this channel that we haven't been called out for being quote unquote combative. If it doesn't get labeled combative, it gets labeled as somebody else who also is combative. So you get labeled as another name, someone else who's done that same action. You know what I mean? So I'm not taking away from your point in general. There are instances where I genuinely do believe what you're saying, that women, when they do decide to debate back or defend a point, it comes off as people accuse them and saying they're combative. But let me just point this out very, very clearly, right? Just like what Jessica did in the lounge, why we might say combative, and then she'll come out and say he's a coward. Sometimes when we're debating with women will insult you in a moment and be like, it wasn't an insult, it's the truth. And so then when we label you combative, it's like, wait, how am I combative? It's like, no, but why would insults be coming out your mouth? You're debating me. You know what I mean? We sometimes when debating, that suddenly the person loses sight of the situation. Let me give you an example, and I'll end it here. I remember I did a live a couple of months ago when it was about what's her name, the black woman, I can't remember her name, the one that was going viral and that was doing the most about black men and I can't remember her name. And then someone was on a panel, one girl was on a panel, and she just wanted to have a fight. She just wanted to have a fight. So she came up here. She even lost her point. She didn't even know what she was saying. I was looking at her like, okay, cool. And in the end, she didn't even have a point in the end because unfortunately, we all have some combativeness in some regard, right? But some of us really like to debate. And when you like to really debate, you are going to be labeled combative. But also, if you're very defensive and you have an answer for everything, you're going to be labeled combative. We all know this. If you're at a workplace and every single time someone says something, you're always the one that's always going to say something, they're going to call you combative. Black, white, whatever. They're going to call you combative because you've always got something to say. There are times where you have to just shut it and keep your mouth shut and say, this is a time in the season. I don't like it, but it's my time in the season. But if every time something gets said, you are always the one to talk up, they're going to label you combative. And I just think to myself with Jessica, the moment she heard combative, from the moment they started, watch the clip again. From the moment they started outside, she started doing passive-aggressive comments. I can't believe they're calling me combative. It didn't stop there. She's in the same dress. She took it to the next scene with Janelle. Come and sit down, Janelle, saying about, I can't believe they call me combative. Everyone can have the experience in. She said, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to take it to the house now. When you guys are sitting here, Lee, Quentin, Phil, I'm going to ask you all questions and chase you down. Doesn't stop there. We now have another conversation. We have another conversation with Chris. That goes obviously AWOL. Then we have another situation with Lee. I mean, this whole episode should be the proof that we need for combativeness. That's what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? She's ready for a fight. So, but I also understand your point that as a general purpose, I do agree. And I've been in those spaces. So I have to be honest about that too, that you can be in a space and when you do say anything back, suddenly you are combative. Or if you don't say it in a pretty way, you are combative. So I do take that point as a whole, that does happen. And it does happen in certain spaces. They know who they are, those spaces. They have a certain color to their name. Any other thoughts? Cway says she ain't gonna be combative tonight. She just, the way she's looking at me, she says she ain't gonna be combative.
I got so much to say, but I'm like,
oh, say it, babe. Say it, because you know we ain't gonna call you combative around here.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. My thing, I just want equal opportunity to combative. If I'm going back and forth, then everybody combative, not just, not just Jay and I, because I would respectfully disagree that there are definitely people who call you guys out, but it is quite agitating that there's a few of my favorite pick-me-shas in the chat and it's not most of y'all, but literally no matter what happens between the argument between me and JR or a disagreement between me and Shawn, not much so with me and you, Kojo, people will just be like, literally, as soon as I say one thing back, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. And I think that's reflective of a lot of Black women's, I got more names where that came from, guys. That's a reflection of Black women's experience, I believe. So I do believe, though, that when I've seen in this channel, though, when we disagree with you two, then I have seen you guys are Kevin Samuels and this and that. But the funny part about it is when they start calling you, especially Kevin Samuels, Kojo, you were pissed. Like, you did not like that. You really did not like that, because you didn't believe that it reflected your value system. You didn't believe that you acted like Kevin Samuels. And I think for a lot of women, being called combative, maybe they just don't see themselves that way and they're going to defend themselves. So that's just the parallel that I'm drawing. But again, I think we all can agree to disagree on this, but I do see what you guys see. But I also recognize, maybe that word was triggering for her and she let out the whole clip. I'm not going to say she didn't. I'm not going to sit up here and say she didn't. She went and she cut Chris up a way that I don't even know if I could. The way she moved, she was moving, I'm not going to say she didn't. And if people think the way she moved to kind of get him off the show was combative, then I respect your opinion, but I'm just talking about everything before that.
I feel like.
Oh, sorry, Jay.
Oh,
go for Jay. Go for it.
Oh, no.
No, go for Jay.
I was gonna say, I feel like two things can be true at the same time. That she can be combative or whatnot, and that's why it's triggering. You've done something in your past, because you can't be triggered by things that haven't happened before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been in a situation where somebody's called you combative before. You have to reevaluate yourself at this moment right now. And I just feel like, though we didn't see nothing prior, she didn't make a very good case for herself afterwards by doing a lot of the things that she did. Because if combativeness, like Shawn said, is not your nature, you shouldn't be running around here doing half the things you're doing. On top of it, you're double speaking, because you're going to sit there and say, I'm not going to speak on the dead, but every 5 seconds call him a coward. You're trying to trigger him now, which is a combative nature to do. Me being a very petty person, I know. If somebody calls me combative, you're probably right. You probably earned it. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be in that stance where, yes, that was your experience. Everybody is not going to always experience me combative, because I'm not combative with everybody. But if that was your experience, in my opinion, I probably feel like you deserved it. And I'm going to stand on that. And I just need Jessica to stand on her assertiveness makes her combative in certain scenarios. And it's okay, because that's her protection. That's her shield. And I've said it before, she's very CEO. It works in certain fields. She needs to be that in certain fields, because working a business is combative. You have to be assertive. You have to be engaged. You have to be a whole lot of things. And I get it. Sometimes for us women, it's hard to turn off. And I think that's just where her problem lies. It's hard for her to turn off, because there's trust that has to be in place first. And with a person like Chris, it's going to be explosive, because he's too emotional, and he's on the emotional side of combativeness. She's on the logical side and he's on the emotional side. And them two together, it's just going to always butt heads. And that's where we just at with this. And that's why a whole bunch of people is on either side of it, when both of these parties are dead ass wrong.
So I thought I defined combative in the beginning. So a person that is not combative is not argumentative, right? They are not pugnacious. They do not look to engage in debates with people. And a person that is combative does those things. And I said in the beginning that there's a whole different range. And I think people, like, when they hear the word, you're just expecting her to come out the gate swinging like Holyfield. And that's not the kind of combative person that she is. There's all different types of ways to be combative. And I'm not saying she is overtly aggressive, but she does engage in combat. And she has some combative tendencies, whatever you want to call it. She's definitely not, and I hear this passive aggressive being fine, or she's not passive aggressive. Because a passive aggressive, yes, has she displayed some passive aggressive, made some passive aggressive comments, but she is not a passive aggressive person because she is direct. Passive aggressive people do not confront people head on. She confronted Chris. She lined up each and every one of those men in that den, in that resort, and she asked each and every one of them, did you call me combative? That is not a passive aggressive person. A passive aggressive person would go behind the gates, use one person that they can kind of manipulate and try to find that out. She went right to their face. And then at the very end, she ended Chris. Okay. She ended him. That is an aggressive person. There's no passivity about that. That is, you did something to me that I disagree with, and she has every right to disagree with it. I'm not saying she can not disagree. She can have an opinion of herself. She knows her longer than we know her. That's his perception. And when she felt he was wrong, she lined him up and she finished him. And he went for it, and he showed his card, and he did not control himself. And he acted out of character. And that's it. Like, I don't think, like, why do we have to spin our wheels and make this about black person? And, oh, you can't call. We have to be able to go, just like you guys can sit up here and tell us stuff. How many times have we heard commentary in the comments? Oh, you're being misogynistic. Oh, this is kind of, and I would think, no, I'm not. But I have to listen to it, right? And I have to hear, hey, listen, this is how it's being received. Hey, this is some of the context of what I hear. Just like you guys said, when we hear combat, sometimes this is what it makes us feel. Sometimes we feel like we can't disagree with the man. So then it reeks a little bit of being misogynistic. Then that means we have to take the feedback. And sometimes, yes, women need to hear the feedback of how you're coming across. If you're having challenges in dating and you want to get better, sometimes you just have to sit and listen. And you may not agree with everything. And some of it, you can just let it go. But you're just not going to appear to be a combative person and start waging war on people if that's not who is in your character. If it's not in your character to do those things, you're not going to do it. Just the same way, Chris has some work to do with how he handles his emotions. Because if it wasn't in him to be mean, rude, nasty, disrespectful like that, then it wouldn't have come out.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say it as well. I think there may be a little bit of a double standard, and we're gonna have to accept it. The same way when men show a little bit of emotionality in the wrong way, the word sassy comes out, right? It's not fair. It seems to be a double standard, right? I think the ladies are gonna have to hold this one. Okay, I think they're gonna have to hold this one because as soon as a man does anything a little bit, they gonna call him sassy. They gonna call him gay. They're gonna call him some kind of name. All right, because they expect that a man upholds a particular way of behaving, right? Like the way that Chris argued with her, someone could have easily said he's sassy for that, right? He got all in his feelings, okay, and then started cussing her out. And as a man, you're expected to regulate your emotions. And when you don't regulate your emotions, they call you sassy. When you decide to be snide and smart, and you decide to, put a little pizzazz, and you start to insult people in a particular way, they start calling you sassy, right? As a man. So we know there's a double standard slightly, right? Because if a woman does that, no one calls her sassy. The reality of the situation is just a double standard. As men, what we expect from women is the same thing that women are expecting from men. There's certain traits. So when a woman shows far more defensibility, when she is a bit more argumentative, immediately, yes, there's probably going to be more of a case of you being called argumentative than a man. In the same measure, when a man is arguing with a woman and he argues with women, we're going to call him sassy, right? We're going to call him sassy. And if a woman asks a woman, no one says anything, right? We just leave it as it is. So it's the same thing on both sides, right? There's a double standard on both sides. What I would say is that like, see where you made a great point, right? I don't like when people are calling me Kevin Samuels, but what I didn't do is become Kevin Samuels. So the next thing I did was to now start insulting women, calling them 5 out of 10s. I didn't start doing that. I didn't start insulting women. I didn't start downgrading women because I'm not Kevin Samuels. It's not in me to be that way. So that's what the point that Shawn was kind of bringing up, which is if it's not in you to do, then you won't do. But if it's in you to do, you go and do. So, if I'm going to get irate about a situation, I can get passionate, but I also can I can also be a little bit, I'll be honest with you, I can show a little bit of sass. Because when you don't decide it, I'm going to be petty, right? That's a little bit of sass. So if someone says that, I'm going to have to hold it because there's a little bit of sass in me. I'm going to give you some pettiness. I'm going to give you a little pettiness in there. I'm going to say a little something. So I'm going to drop a little snide remark, I'm going to be cute with it. So it's unfortunate, but that is the honest truth. And I may not like it all the time, but that's the reality of the situation. So I think if it is something that is said about you, it depends on what behavior comes out next. If the next thing comes out of you, if the next behavior comes out of you, see someone said they notice, they like, they know about me already. I'm a bit sassy. I understand. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. Okay, you got to hold that out. But I think if it's not in you, you don't do it. So I do feel like that's something that maybe Janelle can work on. That not every point needs to be argued, and that there's a double standard for women. When you argue every single point, you are going to be labeled. And if you're a man, it doesn't come off the exact same way because that's not what men are looking for. And in the same way as a man, when women are saying that, there's a certain set of behaviors, like for instance, when women say they want an emotional man, there's a preference to emotional men. You don't want a Tyrese crying on your screen. Okay. He cries on our screen every single time, and God bless his soul. I know he's got the mental health issue like he's saying, but he be crying a lot. Okay. It's too much. Right. So when women start saying if they start saying he's sassy, I understand. He's doing too much on my screen. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Any other thoughts on this part before I okay, so what about the other people? Because I thought the men were soft in this situation. Like Phil, soft. Sorry, Aries, if that's your man, but yeah, sass. Quentin, soft. Sass. Chris, soft. Sass. Listen, Morier, sass. Too much sass. Yeah? Too much sass. And I'm not talking about sauce sass. But what I mean in the joke, all jokes aside, what I mean is that they punked out. I generally felt like they punked out and didn't say anything. And someone said they were scared. I don't understand. Me personally, I get it. We're scared, but there are smart and wise ways to handle a situation without looking like we're running with a tail between our legs. That's my personal opinion. What do you guys think of the boys and their reaction? What's your thoughts?
No, I'm sorry. The fellas were all acting like somebody killed somebody's cat. It was like a funeral. Moria was chased off in the shower, trying to cool himself off and cry in the shower up against the wall. It's like, bro, what? They were all solemn, sitting in there, licking their wounds in their bunk beds, looking like they were in college freshman year after nobody got any numbers after the first party. It's like, come on. Y'all made a decision. First of all, she didn't get sent home. Can we talk about that? Like, she wasn't the one sent home. Sierra was the one that got sent home at the end of the day. So I'm not understanding how this little piece of feedback sent the whole house into, dark mode. Like, we needed to, get ready for the funeral processional. I just did not understand it. And I probably maybe I would have got cussed out. Maybe that's why sometimes, people address me the way that they do, because I have a nonchalant attitude when it comes to certain things. And I'm sorry. Like, I would have just been like, yes, that was what we decided. You disagree? I understand. But are you trying to be in the bottom two again or no?
It's scary because I know you would have said that.
Are you trying to be in the bottom two again or no? Like, because if that's not what you're trying to do, then don't try to intimidate me. Like, because I'm never gonna this never gonna work with me. You're not gonna line me up and say, "What did you say? What did you say?" To quote the great Keke Palmer. And what did you do? Okay. And what did you do? And what did you say? It's like, give me a break. That's how people experienced you. That's how they felt. Are you looking to grow from the feedback, or do you want to fight? Because if you want to fight, I'm not going to fight with you. And that's what I think. It's like they all ran. Oh, it wasn't me. I didn't say it. No, you said no, I didn't say it. I just wish Chris would say it, because no, I didn't say it. Come on now. It's like they ain't ready either. Because why y'all all running scared? Because if anybody knows anything about me, my integrity, who I am as a person, and I'm willing to, if you tell me I'm wrong, I'll listen to you. I might not agree up front, but I'll hear you out. And if you disagree, we could have a spirited debate about it. But what I'm not gonna do is sit up here and pretend like, oh, I didn't say it because I'm scared of what you might think. No, my integrity is much more important to me than trying to run and pretend like I didn't say something so that maybe you just don't eliminate me next time. Who cares? That's it.
Who next? Before I slide to the next DMs. I mean, but who's next? We'll keep it pushing.
Not that comment, but okay. You must be new here. All right. Anyway, though. Kojo, you petty as fuck.
No, that was me. I did it. I was trying to respond, and I had it by accident.
But I'm gonna say this. This is where I stand with Jess in this moment right here. If I ask you a question as a person who just got through telling me why women couldn't lead because they too emotional and men lead with logic, the logical thing for you to do is to go ahead and stand in your truth and tell me we had a combative situation. Especially if you feel like you want me to grow, you want me to better myself. Tell me, I'm with Janelle. Tell me what I did, so I have an example of what I did, what we did, or whatever, and we can go from there. The fact that these men started trying to throw each other under the bus, it's only four of y'all. First of all, Marie's words was already, some of the guys feel, quitting going, we agreed. This is all in different areas, okay? Phil jump out there when he get in front of her. Well, I didn't say it. Well, why you didn't tell Quentin when he sat there and said, we agreed? Oh, no, y'all agreed, but I still didn't say it. Chris want to sit here and deflect and just be like, well, what's understood don't need to be said again. Like, sir, you know what you said. Now, you may not have said those exact words and said that she was combative, but just own up to saying, I said that we had a combative situation. Because if that was your experience and you did, you should be able to say, this is what it was. This is why I gave this feedback. But on the same token, I'm on the flip side too, where if you coming at me with certain type of energy and I ain't ready to fight, I might just sit there and look at you crazy too. But Marie, the words came out of your mouth, so you should have owned up as well. Chris, you know you said it. So you two, for the most part, should have definitely owned up. Y'all should have definitely owned up. I just think that they probably would have got better results if they didn't come at them so aggressively, if Janelle wasn't taking the lead of coming at them so direct, as we want to put it, or whatever. Jessica could have found out a lot better of who it was. However, y'all men supposed to be men, and all y'all got as men is two things: your word and your balls. Stand on them both. Don't let nobody break them for nothing. Them women broke y'all. I'm so sorry. Them women broke y'all. And I ain't saying y'all got to snitch on each other, because we already know what snitches get. But Chris, Marie, you said it. You said it. And you didn't change no wording in it. You didn't sit there and say, this is not how I feel or whatever. You said some of the guys feel this way. So all I can say is, next time y'all man up and say it with your chest. Say your truth. What's somebody gonna do? They gonna whoop you? You don't want the girl anyway. Y'all don't want to be together anyway, so tell her your truth. That irked the heck out of me. I felt Jessica when it was like, I don't want to be with no liar, this, that, and the third. That makes me more mad. Y'all pissed her off even more. So at the end of the day, that all this line, this word of events going on, this line of train of things that happen at the end of it, that's because you sat there and told the lie in the first place and didn't own up to it. You're going to sit there and tell that girl, I didn't say this and that and the third, but in the confessional and in the lounge, we see you saying it. Now, I can agree the confessional might have been after later on recorded and stuff like that, but you definitely said something along the lines in the lounge. So you could have just told her, I said we had a combative situation. I don't know how Marie translate that to saying that you are combative. You could have threw him under the bus like that. But you would have been owning up to your ish. And you should have owned up to your ish. Period. And that's that on that.
Cway, what are your thoughts?
So there's alpha men, beta men. What's the lowest ego?
I think it's like, it's like Delta. I think it's the lowest. Delta is the lowest, isn't it?
Oh, maybe.
Out of the group, yeah. Because
I thought it was beta.
No, beta. Technically, beta has been used incorrectly. Beta is not the bottom. Beta is actually people who are actually essential in society and the communities. Delta would be the ones who are a bit socially awkward. They're a little bit, you know what I mean? Delta men anyway, not the ladies, but the men. Yes, Cway, you want to use as an example to let the men know that they are bottom tier? Is that what you
whatever the lowest we can go, all the way to the flow, is what these men are. They're not even, they're zilch. You know, because we spent 5 billion years calling, you know, women combative, aggressive. I think this is a lot of times you get the dynamic, the equilibrium is messed up when you got zilch, beta, delta, whatever men running amok in the palace, as Mama D would say. To me, the fact that first of all, let's start by the fact that everybody's afraid of Janelle, and that Quentin with his big muscles is running around scared of Janelle and her dress skirt. Like, that's like you all big swole, you pumping iron in the gym, and you afraid of Janelle. That's where the problem really starts. And then you got Morier, instead of just literally saying like, hey, I twisted up my words. I ain't good with words, but you know, I ain't said it, but that's how one of these dudes, not all of these dudes, but that's how one of these dudes felt. And take it up with him. But everybody's doing this no snitching bro code nonsense, and they all coming off like 8th graders. And then Phil and Marie literally looked like 8th graders, folding their socks in that dirty room, looking like they were about to cry. It was literally the most bizarre situation that I've seen. And then Chris, he's if they're all the bottom, he's below them. If you said somebody was combative and you were the leader pretty much in the pack that got Marie's silly self up there speaking for you, just look like, do like in life, I's the pappy. Say you's the pappy. Say you said it. I don't have no respect for a man that one is not a man of his word and two is a liar. Like, you guys are afraid of women to just say, you know, say what you want to say. I guess so. And I do understand, like, women get dinged with not being able to take criticism. I know there's a lot of women who, it's a people problem. It's not just women. But I know women are not as accustomed to criticism as I think men are, because, you know, we usually think we're more in the right than we are wrong. And, you know, a lot of times that's true. But in this particular situation, Shawn, I already knew you was going to get to.
But I do have a quick question, not to be combative.
Oh, go ahead.
But what is a dress skirt? I just want to understand what that is.
What do you mean a dress skirt?
You said Janelle.
Oh, in her dresses and her skirts.
Oh, okay.
I meant in her dress and her skirt. Or her house.
I thought that was a new word for like a boo-boo or something.
or her muumuu or her house coat. I don't know. But the fact that all these men are afraid of Janelle is like, that's how I knew, like, after that, this whole situation is not surprising. The way these men jump when Janelle says something is really weird. So I don't know. I think that's half of the problem. And I think Jessica gets a lot of smoke because literally, you know, Janelle is running the whole house. I mean, I just think it's kind of weird. But the whole situation could have went completely different if they just would have, you know, somebody would have just honestly said, hey, Chris said it. That wasn't our experience, but it is our duty as in the men's lounge when there's only 4 of us to report the feedback. And that was the feedback. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally how it could have been handled. But instead they were just like, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it, but I'm not going to let you know who said it.
The way it was handled was giving me that y'all all feel this way. Even though trying to say it's not the concise. Yeah, even though Phil jump out there and say it's not the conciseness of the group or whatever. No, and then he changed it. He said the wording is not, the verbiage is not the conciseness of the group. But you all felt that way. Because nobody wanted out nobody or anything like that. So you all felt that way.
But when men like this, Jay, we'll never know. We'll never know if they scared of turning on Chris or if they really felt this way. And that to me leads me just to not pay y'all attention at all. Like, either y'all felt this way and y'all afraid to say it, or you know Chris is the only one who felt this way, but you're trying to stand on bro code.
Which is funny to me because I know Quentin is going to go and tell Janelle anyway. He going to tell her whatever to stay in her good graces.
Exactly. And people are wondering what's the issue. The issue really all stems back to Janelle. Because now Janelle is on a rampage to protect Jessica. And Quentin like, now you messing up my bag because y'all done mess with her friend. And Marie's mad because he like, Chris, you got beef. And I over here delivered a message to my real connection. And now I'm messed up because of you. And Phil's just like, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
But no, Marie ain't slick. I'm gonna tell you, Marie ain't slick. That was Dirty Mackin at his finest. Okay, Marie gonna say the word that he needed to use to get Chris up out of there to have a better chance with his little connection or whatever and stuff like that. That he got already.
You think Marie and his pebbles thinks that far in advance? You really think that?
Probably not. But you know, it was a good shot. I try to give it to him.
No, he doesn't. No. I wish I could. No.
Okay. Yes. So listen, yeah, I mean, listen, personally, you know, I think that with Morier, the gang, you know, I think they obviously clearly you guys have kind of said it well. They are scared. My thing is, I wonder what Janelle's done to them that's made them so scared. Like, and then I think to myself, well, I see the way that Quentin handled Janelle after the original beef that happened, and I realized a lot of these men are giving me energy that they're not very assertive. Like, and when I say assertive, I'm not talking about aggressive. I'm talking about assertive, knowing how to assert yourself in a situation where it doesn't lead to the aggressive or the crazy behavior after, right? Sometimes I think that's why guys tend to kind of stay away from certain situations. They're afraid of saying something because they're not sure how to say it in a way that's going to be assertive and not turn into a fight. But the reality of the situation is, you're absolutely right. I agree with you all. Chris should have spoke up and said something. I don't care if you're afraid of confrontation. She's bringing it up, and the question has been said. You did say it. Just say I said it. My issue with Chris also too is that later on with Lee, they have a conversation and he denies it there too. Now, I don't know if he's forgotten he said something. I don't know if that was filmed before he said something. I don't know if they've copped and chopped the lounges to add that information of him saying combative. And that's why he said he hasn't said it yet. I don't know. I don't personally think that's the case, but it's given off that you're lying, right? So for me personally, it's like, own your stuff. You said what you said, stand on it. Like you guys ladies were saying, stand on it. You know, I can't respect that either. Me personally, I can't respect what Quentin did. Quentin literally was like, I don't believe that, you know, when I see brothers do that, I get a little bit scared, man. You do anything for the Puswa? I can. You have me dead for Puswa, and I can't. You know what I mean? Brothers like that, they'd be doing damage to the team, bro. You know what I mean? So me personally, yeah, I wasn't with that at all. Any other thoughts on that with the boys, or before I change it again to another situation? All right, cool. What are you guys' thoughts on the situation between Janelle? No, sorry, not Janelle. The situation between Jessica and Lee in the girls' lounge, because she tried a little ting ting and it didn't go down very well. Yes, Shawn, go for it.
I really like Lee.
really
For
do
two
too.
reasons. I definitely like her for being quick to respond and showing in a non-combative way how to counter an argument, because I don't think anybody would accuse Lee of being combative, right? She heard something, she didn't like what she heard, and she was like, let me just make sure I'm hearing what I heard, because Jessica threw that comment. Now that was passive aggressive when she said, oh, he couldn't buy me nothing, right? Meanwhile, you showed up to his job site with warm lunches and a thermos, right? So don't act like you wasn't interested in him now that you're just upset about how things have kind of turned. So I just really don't like that. That was her interaction, but I think Lee handled it perfectly. She was like, "Oh, I just want to understand," and then you saw Jessica kind of back up just a little bit. And then this is another thing. I don't know if everybody saw the digital exclusive, but there was when Lee called out Chris for making the comment about Jessica being combative, right? And she was like, you just need to say what you say, and I really appreciate that she was like, whatever stand on your opinion, pretty much. And I like that about her. And she did it behind the scenes, one-on-one with him. And I love that approach. Like, if I do something, take me to the side. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. And I think, she's winning, in my opinion. I love her approach. I love the way she handles situations. And I like how she's not going to get unraveled either and resort to insults. But you're not just going to say stuff and think it's just going to fly over her head.
I agree. I think the way Lee handled that was very well. It wasn't in a combative form. She sat there and clarified, are you referring to me? Because it sounds like what you're saying is coming at me. So let's go ahead and get that clear. If you're not coming at me, I'm gonna let it go. And she let it go or whatever. But it's like, I know you're coming for me. I'm the one who sat there and said, Chris bought me something. And here you come making this passive aggressive comment. And those little things right there is probably what people have experienced from Jessica. We know they got it from Janelle or whatever, but that's what they probably experienced from Jessica, to even sit there and be on the side to even fix their mouth to say she's combative. Those little cut sayings, these little things like this, we run around. Those are little mimes that you sit and hoping that somebody step on and explode. You setting people up for warfare. You in combat, sis. Like, why did you have the need to even make that comment? Oh, he can't buy me nothing. You don't want him anymore. You're done with him. You're over him. You've been over him from the whole house trip. You was over him before you got into the house. So it's no need to come at Lee about something he is now doing for her after you guys both agreed mutually, according to you, that you guys are done. For people that is about Black women and being a girl's girl and all this stuff like that, why are you attacking the woman for something the man has done? So Lee was in all rights to get her together, and I'm glad she did. I loved every minute of it. Because she backpedaled and pussy popped on the fence, like Cway like to say, real quick, okay? She got herself together real quick and was like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. No, that's what you was, and we're not going to go there, so stop. So that's all I got.
So are we talking about just Lee and Jessica's interaction, or the whole ladies' interaction in the lounge?
I'm guessing just Lee and Jessica's right now.
because Lee and Jessica, I mean, Jessica gaslit Lee with, after she made that remark, and she definitely took a shot at Lee, which I'm assuming she instantly regretted or didn't really like, that she did it. So then she tried to take it back, or not take it back, but like pretend that she didn't mean nothing by it. But Lee had a right to defend herself for sure. I do think the entire ladies' lounge though was kind of annoying. I just don't know if we're there yet, but yeah.
No, go. You can go for it.
I don't know. It was just a lot of like caping for Chris in the lounge. And I just thought that was kind of disappointing. It was a lot of like, I equated to like when girls be like when they meet like the Summer Walker thing, like I'm not going to pay attention to what the last woman went through because that's her experience and this is my experience. It was just I'm going to keep it vague for a couple of reasons, but it was just a lot of pick me energy to me in the ladies lounge, which I think kind of led to the tension being high. But for sure, I think that Lee didn't deserve the headshot that she got.
Thank you, Cway. Appreciate it. Now, I mean, listen, that she definitely dropped a little bar on her. She tried it, and Lee gathered her all the way up, which is really interesting, actually. I think from a perspective for Lee, because I guess I was waiting for that energy with Janelle, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't the right time or whatever when they had the date situation. She didn't have that same kind of fight, but I guess in this instance, maybe it's a different context. I guess maybe, but to see that energy from Lee, I was impressed. I was like, yeah, listen, don't let her try and get away with it, sis. Gather her up, okay? Gather her up like the weeds in the back of a field. Like, let her know that you ain't nothing to play with. So I appreciate Lee chopping it up and just going, listen, at the end of the day, that's not happening around here. You know what I mean? And it's funny because Jessica did try it, and as soon as that Lee kind of pushed back, Jessica didn't hold firm. That's when I realized that Jessica's really not about his life if you push back. When you push back appropriately, she knew she overstepped. You get what I'm saying to you? Like she knew that she stepped too far. And it went a little bit too far. And that's why as soon as Lee gathered her up, she was like, oh, no, it wasn't about you. It was, I'm just kind of saying, maybe you knew you was, but I think you thought you could try Lee, right? I think you thought you could try Lee. And like we all thought we could try Lee, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. And she gathered you up, because she's been very calm during the course of the season, or so it seems. And so, I realized that if that had been Janelle would have continued onward. If Janelle had said that and Lee said something back, I can guarantee you Janelle would have taken another step further. You know what I mean? But Jessica didn't have the heart for it to do that. You know what I mean? Go for it, Shawn.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Kojo, I just want to do a little mini reset the room
Yeah,
because
go for it.
I'm seeing a little comments coming in, and I know we're excited and we wanna bring in new energy and new folks, and we want Little Black Book to get to 100,000 and above. But I think there's some new people coming in and some strange energy coming through, and I see my people's getting kind of sidelined. And we don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we can have different opinions up here, but anybody in these comments, we engage in respectful debate. We don't disrespect people. We don't come for people in the comments. We don't talk about people, that are panelists. So I just hope that everybody who is in here, I know most of us have been around for a while, but anybody new coming, please bring your respect hat with you. Because if you don't got respect, then I don't really, this is not the environment for you, So just wanted to kind of let that be known for anybody who may be new, because there's new people that sometimes people come in new, you're new to a group, you don't know how to navigate the group. So I just want to help people navigate the group the best so that we can all coexist peaceably. That's it.
Thank you for that, Sean. I didn't even realize. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Um, yeah. So where we at now? So we spoke about Jessica and Lee. Any more thoughts on Jessica and Lee? Any more thoughts on that situation? No. Fantastic. All right. What's the next? What's the next? What's the next situation that was happening in this particular episode? I know Janelle has been a little bit territorial with Quentin, as well. Who else? Did anyone else have a date on this particular episode? I feel like I've just been so consumed with those two.
Maria and Kat.
Oh, Mario and Kat, yes. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I can't lie to you. Let's talk about Mario and Kat because they decided to tell each other about they're both spiritual, and as long as they're spiritual, it can work. But we've been down this lane before, and you never know, he'll pull out a tarot card. What's your guys' thoughts on Mario and and Kat and their date and this whole we free with our spirituality? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't want them bots to come back, so I'm gonna leave it alone.
But what did the card say?
I'm really scared about them bots. Them bots scared the hell out of me. I had a nightmare about them effing bots.
Not Cway being scared.
I don't play with the
Listen,
energies. Them bots.
No weapon formed against us shall prosper.
This is a godly channel.
That's it. We ain't gonna run. We ain't gonna run hide.
We covered by the blood.
Nah. We don't do that around here. Say what you say.
No, y'all can't. I don't want the bots nowhere near me. That freaked me out.
You covered by the blood, Cway. Don't worry.
No, Maria gave her the crystal. What did he give her? Some amethyst or something?
First of all, don't give me no crystal talking about this your personal crystal. I don't know what type of energies you've been putting or your crystal been absorbing for you, okay? Don't give me your crystal. If you want to give me a crystal, whatever, stuff like that, at least take me to the store. Let me pick out my own because that's what you're actually supposed to do.
Jay, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. I know you got the New Orleans connection. I'm not trying to be ignorant. But when did this become a thing? Am I late? Like, is this
the crystals and the energies things?
Like I always knew that it exists. You know what I'm saying? But like to the point where we're on Ready to Love and people passing pebbles back and forth. I've never heard of this. Like
it's been big. It's been big in the last decade or so. Like, but I mean, it's been around. People are just realizing that different crystals do different things for energy and all that stuff. But I look at it just like I'll tell you in the New Orleans thing. If you believe in voodoo, it's all about your belief. You believe in God, that's where your belief. Wherever your belief is, it's going to reign true for you. So if you want to believe that crystals is have healing energy and absorb certain powers and stuff like that, it's possible that it's true. I ain't had a crystal yet heal me, fix an injury that I had or anything like this. So I need proof. I need more proof, but other people need something to believe in. And right now, for some people, mood rings and crystals and bracelets and different things like this, that's the thing. Tarot cards for other people, God is for other people. So when you need something to believe in, you'll find what you want. And he playing in our face by giving her a crystal that is used. Don't give me no used crystal, sir. I don't want your recycled crystal. Okay, you had that in your pocket for yourself, and the cards read from your ex, who you still in love with, that it was an amethyst, and now you want to give out the amethyst to this girl or whatever and stuff. When the card for you was amethyst, you're supposed to keep that daggone amethyst for yourself and protect yourself with that, not be giving it away.
Right, and to be clear, because this type of energy, like someone said in the comments, has been mentioned even in the Bible. So I'm not ignorant to the fact that this is like new to the world. But what is new, and I was wondering, is this since COVID and the decline of the churches? Because nowadays people can't even get buried in the church no more because even their grandma don't go to church. So I'm just trying to figure out, is this a new type of culture that popped up? But people have been nice enough to answer me in the comments. So ciao. Let me shut up because I believe in zodiac signs and people be getting on me about that. So I'm gonna shut the hell up. Long as they don't.
We love that accountability. There it is.
I'm gonna be accountable. Long as
just stop right there, because you know how you have a way of just coming right back around.
She got undo that accountability. She got undo it.
Just stop. Just period.
I believe in them, but I wouldn't if y'all wasn't over here doing what they say all the time.
That is a Sagittarius apology. I swear that's how we gonna apologize. I've been told that.
She done roughed me up before we were on, when we were backstage. I got roughed up, wrapped in a compliment, punched in the eye, and given a hug all at the same time. But it's because, you know, I love you, so it don't matter. To quote Janelle, it don't matter.
We should have just brought some more of that fried chicken instead of that stone. Cause I ain't gonna lie, that fried chicken was looking nice.
Can we talk? We need to talk about that fried chicken that Maurier whipped up. That fried chicken was slapping.
That fried chicken looked like something special. Okay.
Yeah, it was the right color of brown too, nice and tan.
It looked crunchy.
That chicken that Quentin had thrown up on that girl was looking very ashy.
That baked chicken on the grill.
Exactly. It was looking like it needed a whole tan.
So I like Quinn's question, because I don't know if Kojo sees it, but Quinn says, but it seems like Maurier goes back and forth when it comes to his belief. 1 minute he says that he prays, the next minute he's spiritual. Yeah, I there you go. I've noticed that he be giving deacon vibes, and then he pulls out these stones. So honestly, he's a walking, I don't want to call him a contradiction, but he's a walking ball of confusion, if you ask me. So I don't know. I don't know what he doing.
Actress 511. It's a clip. There's a own clip of a cook-off between Quentin and Maurier. So the chicken is there.
So he fried chicken.
Yeah.
There was a fried chicken contest?
Yeah, they had a cook-off. Quentin made chicken Alfredo and or Alfredo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you put chicken in there?
Yeah, oh no, he made Alfredo sauce because I think that's Janelle's favorite. And then Maurier made some fried chicken wings. And the fried chicken wings was definitely slapping. So check out that digital exclusive. But I thought that showed on the episode for some reason. I thought they had a little cook-off.
They did because they showed a bit of not the actual cook-off, but I think they showed something happened in the kitchen. That's why
the meal. Yeah, they showed the meal.
Yeah, that's why. So that's why that was happening. So okay, so
you're gonna leave Phil and his kale alone. Leave Phil and that kale alone, okay?
Yeah, I think to explain that a little bit. I mean, listen, it's not my particular school of thought and way that I choose to exercise my beliefs with my Lord Jesus Christ and Savior. But I think what Maurier was explaining is that he used to, like when he was on his search to find a path to God, he, was a little bit more strict in his Christian beliefs. So he does have a Christian foundation, but then in that path, I forgot where he expounded on it. That's where he found a different path to spirituality, and now he has come to a different way of his spiritual beliefs. And listen, I don't want to disrespect anybody because I know everybody has different beliefs, so I don't want to step on anybody's corns, so I can say what I choose to believe, and if people choose to believe in something different, then that's on them.
Well, I'm truly ignorant to it. So I would love for Kojo, if you do end up interviewing him or someone does, I would love for him to fully explain it, because I'm just a little confused by it. So I would be interested in understanding just for knowledge sake. I think it's always good to try to understand different people's walks and beliefs. And
now, how you follow Dr. Umar and you don't understand it now?
Now, when Dr. Umar, let me tell you, when Dr. Umar, when he gets to doing two things, I cut him off. When he starts calling my Jesus a white Jesus, and when he gets to talking about Barack Obama, I cut him off. I turn him off. But the thing about me, which is different than a lot of people, I can listen to lots of different people and agree with what I agree with and not take everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't cut people off just because I don't agree with everything that they say. I think that makes me a more well-rounded person. I can go from Cynthia G to Dr. Umar to Pink Book Lessons, who her whole channel screams pick me, and I even like some of her stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally go from I can take a little bit of, from everybody. So I always like to learn and hear different perspectives.
That's fair. I ain't mad at it. Okay. Any other thoughts on this before I shift it again? No. I don't know if there was anything else actually after that. But just a reset, not even reset, but just remind everybody in the room. We have 750 people in the room. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like the live, share it with somebody, and subscribe. It's good to see that you guys are here and engaged. We're trying to get to 100K subscribers. So if you haven't done so already and you're new here and you're enjoying the great content, because the content here is elite. Okay, it's elite, it's top 100, you know what I mean? Like it's A1, you know what I mean? And we ain't 100. Okay, we ain't. So I just want to let you know. All right, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And you get to see these great panelists with me as well. I know you guys can see them, not me, so we appreciate that. Okay, we want to keep on going. Okay, all right. We got nice little fans here for you guys. Cway's got her own band of people that come specifically to see her. They literally come to see what Cway gonna say, and it's impressive. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They come to support me because they know y'all gonna beat me up. So I got people.
That is not why they come to see you, because they know that you gonna keep it lit. You gonna say some stuff.
We gonna catch a straight from you before anybody.
She ain't gonna make up a story. She gonna put the 10 on the tools every time.
They need help. They know I need help. So they
who is attacking you?
not me. Not I'm being the victim today.
Exactly. You painted yourself right in the whole victim corner.
The poor, lonely Black Sagittarius woman.
Oh, get beat up.
Woe is me. I'm getting beat up all the time.
I'm on that yellow brick road. So I don't know anything else. I guess obviously Janelle, this was today on this episode was territorial over over Quentin, and I guess obviously just something odd. I don't know if you guys picked up the last episode too, and I think Kat might have cleared it up anyway, but I remember the episode beforehand where Kat was talking to Quentin, and then basically Janelle said he's spoken for, and he said, yeah, he's spoken for. And I was just so confused by that. I wasn't sure. But then obviously in this episode, the fishing stuff, Janelle come out, claimed her man, basically. What's you guys' thoughts to Quentin's relationship with Janelle? I know we haven't been here for 1 or 2 weeks, so we've not been able to speak about it. What's you guys' thoughts on this? Because the episode beforehand too, she had that little breakout moment, and then he went to the bedroom to talk to her, and nothing really was sorted out on his end. He seemed like he was a bit scared of her. What's you guys' thoughts on Janelle and Quentin's relation? Talk to me, people. What's your thoughts on this relationship? Go for it, Cway.
It gives mother and child. It gives like a man who's always like older woman because of a childhood trauma. The relationship is just, the dynamic is just really weird. It's just kind of possessive, and he is so deferential and scared. It just really is. It's really an odd situation that I really can't put my finger on. Honestly, Quentin, I can't put my finger on. I think that's half the problem. Janelle, I get. Janelle, I kind of understand. But Quentin, I don't really get it. But what I will say is that, and I love Kat, I think she's absolutely beautiful. She looks like a Barbie doll. I do not know why when that man even hinted at him being spoken for, I would have been roadrunner out of that whole situation. If he wants to be spoken for and he wants to be at Janelle's beck and call, just have fun. You know what I mean? Like, clearly Janelle is controlling Quentin, and Quentin wants to be controlled, right? So it all seems to work. So I wouldn't have intervened in that little dynamic at all. You know, it's clear that he's spoken for. I don't know what's going to happen next week with Lee. That gives very odd. You know, it kind of gives what that DC season. I don't even want to bring them up. Forget it. But it gives a situation where people were actually spoken for, but there's still like a hanger on. I mean, that's kind of how it feels. So yeah. I have my opinions about Quentin and Janelle, but it's very clear that they're locked in. So I wouldn't be dealing with either one of them. I wouldn't have asked if he was spoken for. I wouldn't have been standing there. I wouldn't have been waiting for his answer, because clearly he wants to be locked in whatever web Janelle is weaving, and he's cool with it. He's cool with it. That's my opinion.
I hear what you're saying on the cat part. Only thing I have to disagree on is the fact that she was there making small talk while he cooking. Listen, I probably would have been doing the same thing, waiting to eat. Like, bruh, y'all gonna feed me, and I gotta stay back close to the grill. So while I'm here, let's just converse. It was a shock to all of us that he was so smitten and taken or whatever in that moment. So yeah, at that point when he says, I'm hers and I'm spoken for or whatever, yeah, I can walk away. I'm gonna walk away with my piece of chicken, but I'm gonna walk away or whatnot, because there's nothing more to say. You know, after I asked, does everybody else know this? And he say, yeah, or whatever, or she start coming at me with it, I don't give it. Cool. I'm not about to argue with you, sis. That's yours. That's where he want to be. I don't want this man anyway. I just want some chicken. Bye. But it's weird that we have to ask you if you're spoken for in order to know this. And then next day, now you want to be, oh yeah, babe, this and babe that, and I got fish and we about to eat and all this stuff like that. Like, what conversation did we have all of a sudden that I got to be all up under you, yet I still got a connection over here that I'm supposed to be nurturing so I can get the vote? I'm so confused. I'm gonna stick on my thing that this is a whole alliance. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out which one of them is running it, because they're both in agreement to keep it going to the end. I don't really understand, because to me, I don't see Janelle wanting him. I do feel like Quentin might have some skin in the game, because I'm like, you see, Cway, he's looking for his mom and older women or whatnot. But Janelle don't want him. Every excuse she made since the week before was, I don't know, I can't kiss him yet. No, because I don't want to be running around here kissing everybody. Can't really tell them I like them because, you know, we're not really there yet. It's like, how you not there yet? We locked in. We only got 2 more episodes. By this time, you should really know if he's running around, my man, and he's spoken for. How do you not know yet if he's your one? You have no other one, at least on this show. So that's what is confusing me at this point, is how y'all so locked in, yet every 5 seconds she can't give you the confirmation that you're giving her. She forever has an excuse for it. So I don't know. These two, they can go ahead and cross the bridge and say I do, whatever in the case may be, and we'll find out a week later, like some of these other cast members who have done it in the past, that it only lasted for 2 days afterwards and nobody talked to each other after. So repeat of old reunion stuff. We about to go.
Go for it, Shawn.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lady said it best. I was really disappointed when Quentin caught that little guppy and left Lee to tend to the guppy on that hook, and went running to Janelle talking about, we got dinner, bro. You can't even fit that. That ain't gonna feed that ain't even gonna feed another fish, let alone a person. So I mean, and Lee was looking like, yo, bro, I just hooked your fish, bro. Are you just leaving me out here like this? Yeah, I don't like how he he played Lee to the left like that. I really just didn't like that. He did it again in the previous episode when Kat was just trying to have a little conversation with him while he was making that, untanned chicken. He was like, yeah, I'm kept. It's like, bro, like, come on. Acknowledge that they always say they're in a process. Acknowledge that you're in a process, right? And he needs to, and, listen, call me misogynistic, call me what you want, but women have said it several times. So let's just say I'm repeating what I've heard. Women like, to be kind of checked a little bit in certain instances. And she needed to be told, hey, listen, babe, me and you, we're building, but I'm also, I want to talk to Kat a little bit. Okay. No disrespect to you, but I'm going to just chat with Kat for a minute. It's like, come on. It's not, y'all aren't married yet. It's okay for you to talk to other people. It's okay for you to explore other connections. And I just wish that he would have done that more, because I think it's inflating her ego so much to the point that she feels like she runs the house. That's why she walks around with these statements like, I'm the one that's still here. Don't matter. It's like, relax, pipe down, sis. If you're confident, you got a lot going on. She's an attractive woman. You don't have to be all up in everybody's face. You don't have to tear people down to lift yourself up. Just be normal. Just be regular. And I just wish that so much for her. And I wish that Quentin would have done a better job at setting some boundaries and putting some boundaries in place. Because what I do think, and this is how you start a situation is how it's going to end up, is if you just have all these loosey-goosey boundaries, that's going to be your situation all throughout, no matter what. You're never going to get respect.
And this is why you play. This is why you play these dudes dust. I'm on Lee Instagram. Lee's so bad. The only person who got sense on this entire show is Tommy. He the one who recognized that Lee is bad. I don't get it. She should have never paid any of them any mind. I just feel like outside of Ready to Love, I hope she wouldn't even look at none of them, not even for a couple seconds. I hope she wouldn't even speak to them. Like, this is why you kind of got that. I think Lee a little bit too nice, and she too, open and friendly. You got to act like you better than these fools, because I'm confused. I've been confused on Ready to Love for a long time. Like, even y'all sent the fine dude home with the wife, but then y'all kept Marie. Lee looks like this. First of all, her body, I don't even know if this is obtainable for most people ever, even if they work out, but she got it, and he want to run around and kiss Janelle's butt. I will never understand what goes on with Ready to Love. Lee, one of the baddest chicks that been on this show. And you gonna let her keep the little fish while you go run behind Janelle in her dress?
I think Lee is too bad for Quentin's ego.
Must be.
I think he is afraid of having somebody that bad, like, because he gonna be always having to worry about her finding something better.
And maybe Ready to Love is saying, it's all about vibes, and maybe we're moving towards where men care about personalities too. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe men care about personalities.
Quinn has kind of a meek personality too, and he's been fussing about Lee not having this like fight for me attitude or whatever. I think that's just, he needs an ego boost, and right now Janelle is giving him that. Janelle is, giving him all the boost that he needs, is making him feel confident and secure to be who he is or whatever, where Lee is going to be that quiet type. She give me one of them, like, you got me, so you doing good types. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. I'm not going to be up here fighting. But clearly she has the assertiveness that he's looking for, the way she stood up to Jessica. She's just not going to put it all out there in the forefront. Just be every time a woman come around, what you doing with my man? Why you on my man? And to be honest with you, I don't even know why Quentin, if this what he wants, would want that. Because the type of business that you are currently in as a trainer, you're going to have a hard time building clientele every time you got to fight your woman because she mad about this girl and that girl come around you. And that's what the energy that Janelle gives me, is that she's going to always have something to say about why are you working with her? Why are you doing this with them? Why are you over here? You need to be here. If you want to be ran in your home and your business, by all means, continue down that path. But I just don't see it working out in the long run, like between the two.
I mean, listen, I'm going to say this. Whilst Lee may be the baddest one on the show and probably on the history of the show, y'all know I mean, the way I look at Lee, it's different. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, unfortunately, sometimes you just don't have the pizzazz, the energy that the guys want. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I'm not even saying the guys are ish. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you just don't have the energy that the guys actually want. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you listen to what she even said about her type, Quentin ain't even her type. Quentin is not her type, right? Quentin is not her type. She says she don't even like the muscles. She like a little belly, like a little skinny nigga. That's what she said, right? So Quentin is not even who her direction is. She doesn't even like people that go to the gym. You know, she doesn't even like. And here's the thing, that this is what I picked up from Lee, though. This is what I picked up from Lee. Why I should say, obviously, she's the baddest on there. What she may not even realize too, also, is there's some energy from Lee that she don't like competition either. And I'm talking about for men, because when she described what she doesn't like somebody being in the same position as her, because she starts to feel like she's not unique anymore. Do you know how mad that sounds? So you don't like the fact that I go to gym and you go to gym because you feel like you're going to be no longer unique. That's like when you hear ladies say, I don't like pretty boys because he's going to be prettier than me. That tells me that you might not be so secure in who you are. You're fighting for your uniqueness. So as soon as a man is that same, so maybe you're not looking for no good looking nigga, but you're looking for the ugly one too, medium ugly, as you don't like to say.
Don't start, Kojo,
with a passion.
I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to say it. Now I can say it.
Because Kojo gonna go on a 20-minute rant about
with
this.
an absolute passion. I hate it. But it may be that she may not realize she's giving off that energy too. And sometimes as men, we pick up on these energies, but we don't know, we can't tell you all the time that we see it. So we might not put a word to it or a label to it. We just don't like it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So that's something, when I heard that on the interview with Crystal XR, I was so like taken aback. I was like, wait, you're telling me you don't like people that do the same thing you do because then he doesn't make you feel unique. I was like, ooh. I was like, I wonder if they picked that up. But that doesn't mean that that's what happened in this particular session, these particular group of people. Because if I'm honest with you, I don't think any of them really were necessarily that type of that stuff. But yeah, just something I picked up on, you know, to point out. Were you going to say something, Shawn? No. Okay. Okay, cool. It is what it is. Any other thoughts? Any other thing that happened on this episode you want to address? Or in the last few weeks, because we know we haven't been here for the last few weeks. So go for it.
Can I just say this funny, ironic thing that I found hilarious about Jessica? Now, granted, I love the way her energy was. And that face off of Chris, I'm sorry. She did the damn thing. She played chess with that dude, for real. But the irony of it all is her screaming around, running around saying, I don't like liars. I don't like this. But then sit in the women's lounge and proceed to tell us that her and Marie is locked in. Ma'am, didn't you just dismiss him and told him to go about his way? So why are you going to sit here and lie in front of these ladies and Tommy's face talking about me and him is locked in? We're good. You just locked the man out.
Well, because everybody's on this show for the wrong. This season is a complete wash. Like, literally, people are just here to win that invisible prize that doesn't exist. Like, this is probably the worst it's ever been on any season. Like, nobody's really even feeling each other like that, but they're just trying to, like, fight to the death, to the end. Like, Jessica would never be fighting over Morier in real life. This is just silly. She's just fighting to prove a point at this point. That's what it is.
To me.
Oh, so she's fighting to fight.
Oh, that's the same thing, Shawn. I come at the same time as you. My petting is at the same time as you, Shawn. I was like, was she fighting?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I thought I heard combative. I don't know. Did you hear combative say?
I think I heard
not
combative.
Fighting in that term. Not actually fighting. I'm tired and hungry, so I'm not finna go toe with y'all.
Girl, I missed the Cway. I missed it. I'm glad they were sitting already.
Couple
I
seconds,
was
I'm
on
gonna
board
log
with
off.
you.
I'm sorry.
On board with
I'm glad
Oh
y'all
my God.
got y'all little cackle in.
This panel is combative.
It's that passive aggressive energy. Okay. Any other thoughts on this episode? And obviously, there's been the last few episodes. You guys haven't been here. Anything else you want to address? Anything you want to just mention?
JR mentioned it. I know he was talking about I think we kind of glazed over it, but Janelle's mean, rude comment calling the women ugly or whatever she said, ugly B words.
Yeah, the ugly beach, she said.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you
Talk
brought
about
that
it.
one up because I wanted to bridge that. How we go from, and I'm going in reverse. We sitting here talking about black women and sister code and all this stuff of what we got to fight down or whatever, but we up here calling our sisters ugly bees and all these things like that just the night before.
But who's
Now-
ugly though? That's the thing. Like, this is my thing is that wasn't even accurate. Like, if you looking around at the people left, who is she even talking about? She was just unhinged and I mean, y'all can give her energy, but she was just being unhinged per usual. She says anything.
Now, you see how you handled that, Cway? Because you're not an ugly bee, you moved on because it doesn't apply. So you don't need to go on a whole campaign. I'm not no ugly bee. The nerve of you, blah 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 blah. Right? You can just let it be because you rest comfortably in who you are, and I think that is the same energy that we wanted to see from Jessica. Not to drive the point home, but
yeah, you definitely been the block on that one.
Well,
I love the way that you came back on that one, sir. I like the way you came on that one. You curved that one right. Beautiful. I don't even saw it coming. I didn't even see it coming, but the way you came back,
Drive by.
Too nice.
Like, all right.
Hey, I just want to. I'm sorry, Chris, if you in this chat, I'm just gonna have to laugh at you one more time because the fact that you gonna sit in this dago place and tell us how men are not as emotional as women.
No, he pulled a me. He was about to full-fledged cry to keep from choking her. That is emotion. Okay. We were about 2 seconds from about 5 tears rolling down.
Well, you trying to tell me that men is less emotional, and you want to sit here and stand on this why we can't run the world, but then you turn around and proceed to bless somebody out the way you did, bruh. And I know some things was edited out. I'm pretty sure that she might have even called you a coward to your face and whatnot. But sir, you owe us all of us women. You owe us an apology at this point, right? I'm sorry.
He definitely has some anger issues, and there's a lot of people. You cannot build up that type of frustration with people because you're gonna explode. And whatever frustration he had built up, that's not the way to handle things, because when you build stuff up like that, now you flipping tables, cussing women out, and doing whatever else you was doing that production done snitched on you and said that you did.
All right, now there ain't no proof for the flipping the tables. He might have shook a table like
he definitely did some with that table, with them chairs and them tables. Because I don't know who he pissed off in production, but they letting all his stuff out. They airing him all out.
Well, who in production says he did something?
Production said it.
There's a whole thread on Instagram of all the stuff that he did. I don't have it on me because I ain't controlling.
Did production say that or Jessica?
No, it's coming from people who are, I guess, backstage in production. Y'all, it's on the internet.
Send it to us. Why you?
Yeah, send it. I didn't see that. I saw Jessica. She added Own TV and Will Packer Production when she was asking for the footage, but I didn't see that. Yeah, send that to us. I would be curious to see all that. Look, I saw enough to understand. And I mean, for anybody that didn't hear it earlier, I definitely don't agree with the way he handled that conversation with her. I don't care what she said. I don't care what was said to, what she said. For him to say F you and your whole existence, to come for her ancestry, I think that was just a bit too far. To me, that's a road travel too far. And, when we were talking a little earlier, Cway, I said, I think Blake showed us the master class on how to handle it when somebody comes to, come for your name and come for your reputation or say things about you. The only way you're going to win in these situations is to handle it with cool and calm and be collected. Because all of that cussing and flipping chairs, if a chair was flipped or throwing anything, I don't think he threw it at her, but if he did, that's really crazy. All of that stuff should not have happened. That's too much. Too far. Road travel too far.
It's too far. And I think people are not being unbiased because they don't like Janelle and they don't really like Jessica. So I really don't care what people said who are defending Chris, because to me, anybody defending what Chris did in that moment, I'm not taking anything that you said about the whole scenario, because just because you don't like Jessica and you don't like Janelle doesn't make it okay for Chris to be unhinged. And this is the reason why men get away with the stuff they do, and they go from woman to woman doing this type of behavior, abusive behavior, because the next woman gonna be like, well, I don't share that experience with him. It's like, it doesn't matter that you didn't share that experience. Look with your two eyes about what he did on TV. So I don't care if I don't like another woman or not. I'm not going to ever, as long as I have air in my lungs, defend this type of raggedy behavior. People be caping for Chris, and I'm just not the 1, 2, or 3. I think what his behavior that he showed is unpleasant at best, dangerous at worst. And if you gonna act like that on TV, what the hell do you do in your own time in your own house? That's all I got.
Listen, hey, nobody here defends Chris. I hope not anyway. I think everyone agrees. Shawn said it, I've said it. I think nobody agrees to defending Chris, no matter what was said. There's no need to go as far as he did. So I'm definitely with you on that. Now, I would just say, I think he handled it incorrectly. I just want you, Cway, to give Chris a bit of grace, though. A little bit of toxicity. I think you should give him some grace. Last season you were giving some people some grace who were on some fuckeries. Just wanted to say that. So I just think you should give Chris a little bit of grace. You specifically. The rest of us are cool. We can cuss him out. But I think you need to give him a bit of grace, Cway. I think you should give him some grace. I think you should message Chris and say, I'll give you grace.
Oh, God.
But you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. It's unhinged behavior, and we don't agree with it at all. And I don't give him a pass on it at all. We don't like that. It's the same thing with the Zadia situation. We didn't give her no grace for that particular behavior. It's unhinged. And if he was flipping tables, we saying it's bad enough as it is now. If he was flipping tables, he's in deep trouble. You know what I mean? He's in deep, deep trouble, because that is a different level. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, I don't care if she called you gay. I don't even care if she told you suck your mom. Flipping a table on a lady, for me, this is where double standards, we've been talking about this Shawn recently as well, where double standards play a part in this. There's no way I can be flipping a table with a woman. It doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? Like, to lose control to that point. I hope that is not true, and I hope that's just a little bit of slander that Jessica's putting out there. But if he's flipping tables, that's a madness. Nah, you know what I mean? That's a madness. I don't know how we can confirm it 100% that he did or didn't, but if there's footage, then fantastic. They can bring it out. They probably won't anyway, and I'm surprised they didn't show it. If they did happen, I'm surprised they didn't show it. But again, they probably don't want a lawsuit. That's probably what it is. What's you guys? Any other thoughts, guys? On
somebody mentioned it in the comments too. I thought that was a good conversation. The dynamic between Aries and Phil, and how she was just not feeling comfortable about his stability, especially with his career.
Talk about it, bro.
Yeah, no, I thought those are some valid questions, to be bringing up, because it sounds like he did a major career change. And listen, when it comes to us guys, especially once we get, as Cway says, in a particular age, we need to be stable. Now, might we be able to change? Sure. But I think the change that he was talking about was all very recent. And I just don't know. I don't know if this are we getting the vibe that, Phil is stable? Or do we think that there may be a red flag there that Aries is right to be concerned about?
I mean, let me start by saying that I appreciate Phil's honesty, because a lot of times people try to cover up for their misfortunes or things that have happened. So I think that says a lot about his character, that he's at least being honest about the situations and what he's gone through and kind of where he's at. But if I'm a woman of a particular age at a particular stage, I don't know if I'm signing up for that potential roller coaster. I'm sure there's people who are willing to do so. But I would have to respect any woman at any age, honestly, for not being interested in that. Maybe in your 20s, I'll be willing to ride up and down the roller coaster with you, and we can fake it till we make it. But at that stage, because that can go left real quick, and then what? Most women are hypergamous, and that's a red flag. But again, I appreciate his honesty, because a lot of men would have tried to hide that and try to make it seem like it's something that it is not. So shout out to him for being honest and letting her make the decision, because I respect that. So
I agree on that part right there, Cway. The honesty was everything. But it's a big decision for her, because it's not that she just, at any age or whatever. We got other lives involved. And I'm a mother after all. No, just playing. But dead serious. She got 2 boys. And on top of it, he got a kid. You know what I'm saying? So if we start talking about thinking future and we blend in families and we're doing all of this, I need you to be coming with something as well as I'm coming with something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that anybody got to be taking up all the slack for some certain situations or whatnot, but I need you to be on stable ground, because I got 2 extra lives here that need stability. And that's all of the things that she has to put in play. Like, she has to think about all of that. She can't just be jumping out here and getting with Phil for herself. Every time she gets into a relationship, she got to think about how it benefits her and everything that comes along with her. So I appreciate him for putting it on the table for her to make that decision. And, if she feels some type of way about it and she makes her decision off of what she heard to go about her way and leave Phil alone, she's well in her right, because she's not just making this decision on her own, and she doesn't have to stand by anybody in this position.
I just think that if there's one thing that's been pretty consistent, at least in these more recent seasons, is that these dudes on Ready to Love ain't got no money. So I would never be going on. I'm just talking about in general. Of course, there's folks that do. And I said the most recent seasons, but a lot of the front runners don't have the funds like that. Why? So I just don't know. Like, going on the show looking for a stable man, just I don't know. There's been lots of successful women on the show, but I have yet to see where has there ever been a doctor on the show? There's been 5 billion women lawyer. What about the male lawyers? None. No. Okay. I'm just saying.
I just want to say those are the opinions and thoughts of Cway. Little Blackbird does not endorse whether these men are broke or not. Please do provide your SA 302s though and your self-employment pay slips to Cway and let her vet and check to see if you guys make bank. But yes, I definitely hear you. I definitely hear you on the Phil situation, and I agree. And personally, just hearing Aries' story, if she's true to herself and what she said she wants to do, Phil can't even get a look in. Because if he's not stable, after what she spoke about her history in terms of dating somebody who wasn't financially stable in the first place, doing that at 22, and then, having a similar issue, I guess, maybe not similar, but some issues in her next marriage as well, that ain't going to be it. If she's going to stay true to herself, Phil ain't going to be it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it probably won't go any further than just after the show. You know what I mean? Maybe, a bit of fun, but after that, it can't be serious. So, yeah, so it's unfortunate. Someone said Phil can be a good friend. Yeah, he can be a good friend indeed. You know what I mean?
Anthony was one of the few ones on that show, Jay.
Yeah, I think he's the only one. What else did you ask for? I had took a call, so that's the only reason I was off camera.
That's why he stayed so long. Don't recall.
What you asked for, a lawyer or whatever else?
I just asked for something. At this point.
Hey, let's not forget Zoe was a millionaire. So don't forget that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? No, I don't want to get in
Miami.
Trouble. No, but was that?
No, he had at least a dozen properties and cars. Just remember that.
Okay, I could say something about that, but I won't. But that's great.
If you're not picking up my sarcasm, see, we're in trouble.
I do pick it up. That's why I'm not saying.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. Just want to make sure.
Because I don't want to have to say 5 billion allegedly. allegedly. I don't know what's filed and what's been done. So let me just that's fantastic right
now. Oh man. But yeah, so seemingly it seems difficult. And I guess maybe that speaks to a larger issue amongst the men. If the men are making great money, either they're not struggling to get women or they really just don't want to come on this kind of show. It doesn't benefit them to come on the show. So there's something to be said about that as well.
Yeah,
anything else?
A man with money would never be on this. A man with a whole lot of money probably wouldn't be on this show unless he was looking for attention. And then most men with good jobs or regular, I should say, just standard jobs that do well for themselves, you can't be on the show. You just can't. At least corporations won't allow you to be on the show flipping tables.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
like true. Legit, you can't. So it's going to attract a lot of promoters, lots of club promoters, lots of personal trainers.
I just feel some type of way about our friends that we have. See, we going in.
I'm just saying, entrepreneurs.
I just think that is part of the reason why we haven't had a high success rate, because women are hypergamous, and the men that they're bringing on the show, and there are exceptions. It's just not going to work. Shout out to the DC cast. There's a lot of dudes on the DC cast with fun, so I'm not talking about them, but that's because you can't be broke in DC, period. So I'm not really talking about nobody, nothing from the DC cast before people think I'm talking about them. But in general, like, yeah,
the Houston
cast either. Yeah. Just a few of them.
Jay's out here doing his thing. Jay
getting to the bag. But I said later shows. Jay, no, I'm not talking about Jay. There's plenty of people I'm not talking about, but I'm just saying.
That's fair.
I just wanted to add some color.
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but they would know that I'm not talking about them because they know what's in their bank account and they know they're doing well.
That's a hot hit dog gonna holler. They say.
Yeah, have one of the bottom girls hit you in the head with the bottle on the way to the table.
Yeah, only the hip folks gonna holler in this type of situation.
It is what it is, baby. It is what it is. All right. Any other thoughts?
Hit dogs will holler, so we'll wait to see who says what about
when they start messaging UC West, your fault.
That's
Ain't
fine.
gonna undo me. Ain't gonna undo
really
me.
They don't. They better not. They better
We'll,
leave that
we'll,
Sag
we'll
alone.
see them all in Jamaica. We'll see we'll see everybody.
Yeah, everyone gonna
They
see
better leave
Cway in
that
Jamaica.
Sag
That's what they're gonna
alone.
do.
I'm trying to see who's gonna see me in Jamaica. I ain't too sure about that.
They're gonna sabotage your jet ski. You gonna get your jet
Cway
ski gonna
says
stop
she's gonna be resting comfortably on her island by herself. She's like, come see me on my boat. Okay.
You gonna be laying on your sunbed and someone's just gonna cloud your sun, boy.
I'm
She gonna be
yelling,
her.
I'm not broke.
You're gonna borrow
Like-
your what did you call it? Her dress skirt. You're gonna borrow Janelle's dress skirt, and you're gonna be laid up on the beach.
You gonna get it. Someone asked, when is Jamaica, guys?
Are we revealing that just yet?
When we get there,
Exactly.
Oh, you don't want to say it to them. You scared they're gonna come out and find you
Yeah,
guys.
And at this
it's
point,
coming.
we're
When
gonna
Kojo
live
gets to
stream,
100,000.
and then we'll live stream it because it's gonna be worth it at this point. 'Cause
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
we need y'all to get them to 100,000 before it happens. So y'all got like a good day to get it done.
Y'all gotta
Make this magic
quick
happen.
turnaround. So
I
please.
promise y'all, it's gonna be better than OWN ever produced at this rate.
That's right. We're gonna give you an all-star.
Hurry
Shoot.
up. We might have a live going from there. Hurry up. Sign up.
Don't worry about it. Trust me, don't worry about it.
Y'all
All right. Anything else, guys? Any other points?
I don't know. I'm trying to read the comments to see if there's anything else.
We'll see next week what Quentin tells Lee, like Cway said, and what more come out of these. What they meet in the family?
I don't even know.
Ooh.
Women, they're meeting family.
Yeah, I think they're meeting family. Yeah, next week.
Okay.
Which is gonna be real
Definitely,
silly. But
Yeah.
do y'all know if the other season got cleared? Is the second Dallas one cleared?
I believe so. I believe so.
So they're
I
gonna-
believe
they're gonna-
somebody's
they're gonna do
already
winter
posted
time.
cast.
Is it for winter? They're gonna be that. They're gonna be winter time then.
Well,
They'll be
you know,
airing.
Dallas, it's not really winter, but yeah, pretty much.
I mean, sorry, what I mean by that is it'll be
Played
December
in the
time for
winter.
us. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
us will be winter.
unless they
They'll
take
come out
a
in the,
break.
like fall.
Unless they take a
I
break
doubt
and
they
then
will.
release it in January.
Or
I
that
would
could be a
say
shout.
just
They could
put-
do.
Can you imagine like they just would have put everybody together and made it longer? Like if that Miami season was together, I think that would have made for a way more interesting season.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
'cause I
no.
do feel some people match
You
better.
don't think so?
Oh, the carnage.
Yeah, but that would have been better at least.
But I think that some people would have matched out. We'd have had more matches better because even people from the DC cast felt like some of them feel like they should have been on the Potomac cast.
And then they mixed. They wound up mixing. Like
Mhm.
Sabrina Topaz is now with Walter.
With
so
Walter.
and then Tyrone for a brief stint dated what's the young lady's name?
Ace.
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 So yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd been cool if they would have just put it all together because we're about to leave Dallas with no matches. Is this a record?
Mhm.
Or did that happen in DC too?
No, I think in Atlanta.
And what about Miami? Miami,
No, I think he came out. We had Miami. We had Mike and
You got some people.
Mike
Mike and
and
Brandy.
Brandy. Yeah.
and
I think it's still
what's her
Sweeney,
name?
And Kadian and
also,
Swayze.
Kadian and Swayze.
Kadian
Kaden
and
Swayze.
Swayze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ra and Jamala for a second, right? But I don't think that.
By the reunion,
That's-
they weren't.
That was the quickest second I've ever seen, boy.
Yeah, by the time they got to the reunion, they weren't.
I think you should invite Rara to Jamaica.
So we can watch them Who's Your Daddy shorts all over the beach. Y'all competing over who got the better Who's Your Daddy shorts. Is that what you want? You want to
And
come?
the live competition.
You want
I think we have come to a unanimous decision that the doors are closed. On the
Let the borders be
Right.
open, guys.
The invites have been closed.
We got no what
see-
y'all
I
want to
just-
see
I
from
just
us in
invite-
Jamaica.
We're
I
y'all
want to invite Love is Blind.
oh
Shut
gosh.
the heck up. Go to sleep.
The only invites are open to sponsorships. How about that? You know?
Right.
Okay,
Any
guys,
invites are open
if you're willing to sponsor people, guys, or
You
sponsor
are
some
definitely
trips, please get in
money
touch with me,
open
guys.
doors. You know, that's it.
we're open to sponsorship, guys. Maybe you've got a business, maybe you
Please.
cook some good food. We would love to have some sponsorship for you guys, okay? Shout out some
Sandra
ideas out there,
is
all right?
talk to us on the back end.
Oh yeah, Sandra, hit us on the back end. Those of you know me. So if you don't know
Sandria,
me, I
no, she
will
ain't
ignore your
going to
message.
nobody's Jamaica, so stop the
If
cap.
if you if you know me, you know me. If you don't, then don't bother because I will ignore your message. You'll be in the requests, so and the requests will stay requesting.
Where was Morier exercising, Kojo?
Why are you asking me? Whoa, I don't want to be in this. Okay, Maria follows me on Instagram. I happen to like the dude.
He was exercising.
I guess when they had Lee's thing.
When Lee did the step class. Well,
Maybe
look,
that's when.
I don't do them step. I don't do any organized dances. Y'all done been to the club with me. I don't do the cha-cha slide. I don't do the electric slide. I don't do any of those things because maybe I don't, I don't like order. So I wouldn't have done the step aerobics either. So it'd have been me and Janelle upset in the back. I'd have done everything else. I do some cardio. I'll run. I'll hit the treadmill. I'll do a spin cycle. I'll do some jumping jacks. But sometimes them step classes,
they're hard.
Yeah, they're hard. And then maybe that's when, my white DNA shows up because I be want to do what I want to do.
Not the colonizer, Gene.
The colonizer will show up in me, and then I'll be out of step, stepping back, tripping. I can admit my flaws.
When you take that whole class, it don't stop. I did it for the first time last week. I'm like, they're like uppercut. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Remember when that Zumba thing was a craze? And one time me and my ex-wife went to the gym together, and she was like, "Come with me to the Zumba. Come with me to the Zumba. Come with me to the Zumba." I'm like, "Babe, I really am not into it." She's like, "Come on. Couples go." Blah, blah, blah. I went in that room. 1, 2, right back out the door. Yeah, I'll see you in 30 minutes. I don't do all that stuff. I'm sorry. And yes, somebody asked, do I dance? Yes, I do dance. I do dance. But just organized dance moves, it's just not for me. That to me, a line dance, absolutely not. The new CeeLo one they got going, it's a lot of fun to watch.
They calling you a biracial butterfly.
That's what he get.
What in the hell is that? See, Demetria, you understand. I want to do what the hell I want to do. So
Shawn said, "I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly."
That's it. You gotta let me fly and do it my way. Shorty swing my way. That's it. I want to do what I want to do.
Shorty swing my way. All righty. Anything else, guys, before we go? I'm gonna read the super chats and then we'll bounce because 2 hours is gone. I wanted to keep it at the 2 hours, which is amazing. Great. First super chat was Phil Good. Sent in $5. Shout out to him. Says, "I'm with Cway Shocker. Jessica can defend herself against a misrepresentation on her character. Chris' feelings are not facts on Jessica's character." Love that point. We also had a super chat from Kesha. She says, "Moria and Kat just don't want to get eliminated." And then we had another one from Tere. And she says, or he says, I'm not sure, says, "Great panel." And we appreciate that. Thank you. We're trying to put on some great shows for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We do well. Listen, audience, thank you so much for joining us. We had over 780 of you guys in the room, which means, we appreciate you guys. Obviously, appreciate the work that we're doing. Keep it up. We'll join us again next week for Ready to Love. Obviously, that's episode 11 when they meet the family. It's going to be interesting. Next few episodes, it's going to be interesting. The reunion is going to be interesting as well. We ain't going to be finished till it's going to be a close call, actually. I think before I'm not saying because people know dates.
Right.
I know. I almost said it as well. I was like, wait, I almost said the dates. I was like, are we going to be? But no. So I think we'll continue on Monday. I think on Saturday this week. I'm here this week, Saturday. So I'll be able to do it Saturday again. But yeah, no, it's really been a great show, and I appreciate you guys. On your way out, guys, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, and you click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. Now, I can't leave you guys without leaving here with something. Okay.
Wait. If you're new here, if this is your first live, can you drop a comment on the video, we would love to welcome you because, like Shawn said earlier when he was checking some of the crazy stuff that was going on, there's a lot of new people here today, and we are happy that the channel is growing. So please drop a comment and let us know where you from and that it's your first time. Sorry, Coach. I just want to say that.
No. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. In fact, anything, you reminded me, I was about to leave without Shawn doing a benediction. That is bad on my behalf. Hold on. We got to get Shawn to do the benediction. Sir, we need the benediction. Deacon Shawn, give us the benediction, sir.
All right, I'm gonna try to muster up a little something to get us out of here in haste. But I think we had a spirited, non-combative conversation tonight, and we witnessed how we can have different opinions and have conversations. And I think in relationships, sometimes combat is good because sometimes in combat you reach a resolution. So the combat is worth it if you reach a resolution, and it's also about the tactics that you employ, right? So when you engage in combat, please be respectful in your combat, right? No need to be disrespectful in your combat, no need to be hurtful, no need to be angry, no need to be violent in your combat, right? You can use your words and use your words respectfully. Also, listen, there's nothing wrong with self-confidence. And, we as a people come in so many shapes and forms and are beautiful in each and every right. But we don't have to tear somebody else down to build ourselves up, right? I can look great, I can feel great without telling somebody else that they are less than or worse than, right? So let's lift each other up. Let's spend some more time investing in positivity versus negativity, right? And that's going to give us better outcomes. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Honestly, it's always a pleasure when you drop the benedictions as well. Listen, audience, thank you so much for joining us. Those of you who are new, as Cway said, leave a comment, not only in the chat, but in the comment section. That way I can also see it later on as well. Leave a comment in the comment section. Just let us know that you're new here. And we really appreciate your presence. Don't shy away when these lives come on. Be engaged, be involved. We want to see more of you guys, and we want to continue to do the great work we're doing. So we'll be back here again on Saturday. But for the rest of y'all, thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And for those of you who might not be commenting, because I know not everyone wants to be so open about it, we're gonna leave here with a video, because this is how we leave our shows. Just to know that a little fun here. Just a little dash of. Okay, just a hint of fun,
I'm leaving here with something.
There we go.
You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
I'll leave here with what? Something. All right. Always when you leave LBB, you leave with something. Good night. See you, folks. Bye-bye.